Hi, I'm Peter Wallman, and I've been reflecting on our recent royal commissions in Australia. We've had two that have revealed appalling activities by both religious organisations and financial organisations. And it has me thinking, why is this so? I started an investment banking business 40 years ago, and my mantra at that time was making an honest quid in a dishonest world. And despite all of the leadership programs and all of the work with ethics and values, it's still the same, and in fact it's probably worse. And then I think about the large IT companies that are having a huge impact on us through very, very unethical practices. And what's it going to take to change that? Because we obviously have to change it. We can't live comfortably in a world where everything gets worse. It also got me thinking about a program I ran for a leading Australian business organisation in which I was asked to facilitate 25 CEOs about what was most important in the future. And the interesting thing for me was that half of that group saw the key issues as internal issues. They saw it as having a clear vision, they saw it as having really clear values, and they saw it as having really strong leadership. The other half saw it as, how do we manage our external environment? How can we lobby the best? How can we promote the best? They saw their pathway to success as external, while the other half had it internal. Now, it seems to me that as the world gets more complex, there's more and more activity, there's less and less time to self-reflect. This capacity to come from internal place is critical. I don't see how we can ever have financial organisations running ethically, treating their customers with respect, if they don't come from a place of deep integrity in themselves. And what do I mean by that? I think there's a place in ourselves where we feel this deep integrity. It's not a place we can think ourselves to, it's a place we have to feel. If we make a decision that's against our ethics, we feel that. It's not that we think it's wrong, we know in our gut that it's wrong. My challenge is, how do I take what I've learned in working on both sides of that, working with the external world and working with the internal world? And how can I support the transition to effective, conscious organisations? And fortunately, I think we have a killer app, which is called Passion Maps. And we use the energy of passion, or the energy of the life force, to help people to get back to this place in themselves where they are deeply connected to what's most important for them. It's underneath gender, it's underneath beliefs, it's underneath roles, it's underneath the past. It's a place where they can really be. Get back to what we meant by human being, not by human doing. So my dream is that we can work with organisations who have the courage to do this for their staff. They have the courage to enable their staff to come from a deep place of authenticity, a deep place of presence and power and potential. And it does take an enlightened leader, because you're never quite sure what's going to happen. You can't control the release of passion, the release of life force. You have to go with it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to really respect what is most important for your colleagues and your staff. So I'm hopeful that with really powerful personal interventions for people, both as individuals and both in a team, where we come together in this deep authenticity, that we'll be able to hold that place and be able to operate from that place in our organisations, in our lives, where we don't find reasons why we can act unethically, because we know we can't, because it's not us. And at our core, I believe we're all in this place of authenticity and presence. But most people just don't know how to get there, or even what it feels like when they get there. So that's my reflection. I know I'm sitting here next to a beautiful river, and I'm a million miles away from where you might be watching this in the city. And I think part of that is that to be able to think really clearly, sometimes we just have to get away from our day-to-day stresses and strains and responsibilities. So I'm hoping that this is a useful little piece of information for you. Happy to talk about anything you might like to do to bring authenticity into your organisations. Thank you.